Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? It's now March 1st, 10:30 Central Standard Time in the morning, and I just want to do a quick update on Bitcoin. I'll try to keep it under 15 minutes because I know that you guys have a busy day, and I'm a little bit tired myself as well. So before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would upvote it on Steemit as always. It's just your small way of showing that you support me as well, just as much as I support you guys. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share the content if it has helped you in one way or another. So what I'm drawing right now is basically a channel support. We see this beautiful channel that's been forming. Every time I draw a channel, what I like to do is zoom in as close as I can to make sure that it's accurate. See right here, if I just drew it from where it was before, it wouldn't have been that accurate. But I want to make sure that we're getting a very relevant contact point right at the top, as much as we possibly can. And this one we see it's actually not in contact with it, so I want to make sure that I draw it very well. And sometimes it takes a lot of readjusting until it looks good. So we see a contact there, perfect. Do we see a contact here as well? Perfect. Okay, so I'm now satisfied with these two specific points right now. Let's see our third point. So what we see right here, guys, is we see our attempt to break out here, but it ended up being a bull trap, right? That first one right here. And finally, we're able to break out of it, and it trends right above here, which is perfect. I'm not sure if in my previous videos I drew properly or not. I think in my previous video, I might have ended it right around there, right? I was recommending a ladder scenario with a really good risk to reward, guys. Like, we're talking about a killer risk to reward, right? On top of that, I was recommending to buy into strength if it broke above about 10,400, 500-ish. And here we are. Today we actually reached $10,831. So congratulations, everybody. We're going to go over the daily candle right here, first of all. So on the daily, in the past 2 days, what we saw was these massive rejections on the 55 EMA. But the good news is it was actually sandwiched in between this moving average right here, the 8. So that shows a lot of strength, guys, in the market right now, where it's bouncing above the 8 EMA. It was rejected to the 55, but at least it was staying in between there. And now what we could have easily concluded was that it was going to bounce off of one of those EMAs again. And surely enough, it did, guys. It absolutely did. And now what we're getting is a fairly bullish candle. A very bullish candle with about 7 hours, 8 hours to go in the day. Volume is lacking a little bit. It could definitely be picking up. But the good news about this candle that I like a lot right now is that it sets up tomorrow, okay? It sets up tomorrow and the next day. So let's say today, this candle closed within this range, basically, where we're not gonna make too much progression. Hopefully it'll stay like this, right? Hopefully a lot of the bulls enter the market and it holds to around this region. Now what's significant about this body right in between the 55 EMA is that tomorrow, guys, so 7 hours from today or from right now, it sets up tomorrow so that we could actually possibly close above it. Now if we were to close above this 55 EMA, let's say it was like that, right? And we close above the 55 EMA, and I'll just extend this yellow line, right? Well, closing above the 55 EMA would be a very, very awesome sign. An awesome sign to the point where I think more people will actually rush in. And what's cool about that is that some people will wait for an entire day's confirmation before entering a trade. So today, not many people will be entering. If it does close like this, maybe more people will enter like that, right? And now let's say tomorrow we actually end up closing with this candle as well. Then we all have successfully confirmed that we've closed above it, and I would imagine a small rally. Interesting, right? So on the daily right now, it's actually looking fairly good to me, but I'm still fairly neutral. We just got to give it some time. So here we're definitely curving upwards, right? But how high are we actually going to go? That's a big question to me. Are we going to make an ascending type of triangle for RSI right here? Okay. Is that what we're going to do? If we do something like that, that'll be pretty cool, I'd say. I'm just going to take off my drawing. No, is my magnet on? No, it's not on. Okay. So we do have to break above this RSI resistance, which is not going to be set up for tomorrow, but the next day. That is where we could possibly break above this 57, 58 RSI. So it's setting up for a fairly good bull run, but I'm still neutral because we haven't really confirmed anything yet, right? 12-hour bullishly diverging as well, but we have to break into a bullish territory. We gotta break, guys, above this right here. So there's a lot of criteria to still be met before we can expect a lot more money to be entered into the marketplace and for people to go long. So I'm just going to check some tables here as well. Let's go check our BTC short versus long, okay? BTC, this one can be short. This one can be long. So if we look right here on the 4-hour chart, right, this right here is long. We got about 31,000 Bitcoins that are in a long position on Bitfinex, and we see on the short positions right now it's about 20K. So we see it kind of leveled off right now. There's not too much action between the bulls and the bears right now, I'd say, because, well, we broke above, you have to keep in mind, this EMA, right? Or sorry, this major resistance line. Now we trended above it, which is very good news. And now I believe that the 5 count is already done. Excuse me. Let's go in a little bit closer here. So I was suggesting for people to enter right around this range there, right, which was above the trendline resistance. I might have drawn a little bit differently though. So the way that we're seeing this right now basically is 1. We're seeing this as 2, guys, right? And we're looking for a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th wave up there. Now, what would signal a bull rally? What would signal a bull rally is breaking above this right there. If we actually broke above $11,070, it probably won't be today. Probably maybe an attempt tomorrow, right? That's likely as well, where we could possibly attempt it tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up making some sort of ascending triangle like that. So what I'm hoping right now is to maybe add a little bit to my position if this holds right around here. I've entered a trade all the way from the 10,300, 400 ranges already, because I take my own advice, of course, right? So now I see this as 1 wave up there already, just about. So what I'm hoping for is possibly something like this, where we will make a touch off of this line, and then the 3rd one will actually break above it, and the 4th one touching down over here. So that's a very likely scenario as well. I mean, if you guys do this right here, if you take your Fibonacci extension from there to here, and let's say it retrace to this trend line that actually holds just from down here. If we take a look at the 1-to-1 extension, we actually see it above this critical resistance over here where we reached it last at $11,065, right? Let's say we aimed for something a little bit higher right there. Is it possible that this former resistance right here, if there even was one, would actually act as a good support, right? So that's definitely viable as well. So this is what we're actually hoping for in here. And if we take our Fibonacci extension from where it began way down over here, okay? This one is more of a viable target right here, actually. This one should be, say, a 161.8. This one right around here. So for the people that are already in a trade, you guys are in a very good position right now. Just make sure you stick to your stop loss, because like Bitcoin, right, it's always unpredictable, guys. And we've counted this many times already as 1, as waves 2 right here. And this is basically where the impulse wave started, right? Right around this region right there, right here. And now we're counting this as 1, 2, and, you know, we're looking for a 3rd wave somewhere up there. We don't know exactly where it'll be. We just have to assume that the 3rd wave is often the longest and never the shortest. So let's give it a little bit of leeway, right? Actually, no, 12K sounds pretty good to me right now. Just around here for now, just to be very conservative. And we'll use the 5th target as somewhere like there, up there. So this is a very possible case. It just depends on so many factors right now. I'm going to talk to you guys about the moving average right now. Like the 12-hour, or sorry, the daily, we need to close above this 55 EMA, guys. Like, there's no way. We need to close above it with a really good candle and volume. The last time that we closed above it, if we see here, it ended up being a shooting star. So that's not a good sign. And I'm also seeing the volume die off right now. So I'm not really too interested in Bitcoin until about 11K, put it that way. Or unless this channel resistance holds, right? It's very small, believe it or not. Okay, actually, let's go to a 4-hour chart. Actually, yeah, that's good. Right around here, like we can draw like that, perhaps, right? That's a pretty good way to draw it. Or we can draw it maybe like here as well. There's just so many different variations of how to draw this right now. But regardless of how we draw these trendline resistances, please keep note and make note of this critical resistance right here. 11,000, whatever it is, 11,065. That is what it is right there. I can't really get to it. What was the high? 11,060. Yeah, 11,065. I'll just draw a horizontal line because you can actually change it. Oops, not that. That's not the line that I wanted. I wanted the horizontal line. There we go. Okay. 11,065. So there we go. So until we actually break this, to me, it's a no trade zone almost, right? Like I accumulated right here, and I know that I mentioned that I would be interested in right around here as well because it supports above the 55 EMA. Now this is a fairly bullish zone to me if it were not to break down here, but we simply don't know yet, guys. Like it's definitely squeezing into some point right now, and until we squeeze into a point, there will be a definite break somewhere along this region right here. We just don't know where it is yet. So I think a lot of people are actually watching right here at the 11,065 range. Is that what it was? Yeah, 11,065 range. As soon as that breaks, guys, we're definitely going to shoot for 11,784. That just makes entire sense. And in fact, if we break above this 11,065, it's almost going to be just free, like free shooting up to the sky to break that limit right here, or break this one right there. What is it? 11,078. Okay, I'm going to draw a line there as well at 11,078. Okay. There we go. So right here, if we break, guys, really, like if we break above here, this is where I'm going to be adding a lot more to my position. I think that's a fairly decent trade setup as well if we're only targeting that up there, where we set our stop loss slightly below this resistance when we break out of it. Or if you guys are going with the more aggressive one, then you're still going to target your 11,000 scenario that I mentioned earlier, right? Or sorry, the 12,000 scenario, and you can even shoot a little bit higher than that as well, and that makes a really good risk to reward ratio. Like we're talking about a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 reward ratio right there. So let's talk about some more moving averages right now. We're definitely seeing it support above every moving average except for the daily so far, guys. I mean, we bounce off of even the 21 moving average right there. Look at this nice what is it called again? It's called like a spinning top, a bullish candle, right? Spinning tops can be at the bottom, or spinning bottom rather. I can't remember the exact name. At the top location, it's called a spinning top. But on the bottom, it might be called a spinning bottom. I don't really remember it. But it is a bullish candle, nevertheless. This guy right there when it formed, which signaled a rally, right? So as soon as this one formed, on the next candle, people definitely entered a trade and they rode it all the way $400 up, which is a pretty decent one. So now we're still supporting well above all of these moving averages, guys. And here was actually a cool point that happened. I hope that a lot of you guys entered a trade right around there where it started to fan out. So I'm neutral. I'm neutral because we haven't broken above 11,065. Once we break out of there, I'll consider my bias to a short-term bullish bias. And my long-term bias is still very bullish. And my medium-term bias in terms of a week or two, I'm probably going to have to go with neutral still. Because I still need to see it break so many critical resistances right now. And it's actually just not doing that. But on the 12-hour, guys, beautiful fanning supporting above the 55 EMA. 6 hours supporting above it. It's 4 hours supporting above it right now. 3 hours supporting above it. 2 hours supporting above it. 1 hour supporting above it. 45 minutes supporting above it. 30 minute is supporting above it as well. Basically, every single time frame is supporting above the 55 EMA. But what people are looking for most is this guy right here, guys. This guy right here in a few days. We gotta break this 11,065 range. Okay, remember this number, 11,065. How did I derive this number? From the high of this candle. Look at the high right there, okay? We have to get past this trading range, and we have to make sure that it acts as a support. If we break above 11,065, expect a rally, guys. Absolutely expect a rally to the 11,700, 800 ranges as well. So for now, as it stands, I don't know if it's going to make an attempt up there. It looks like it wants to make an attempt, to be quite honest. But I just got to make sure that I stay very safe as well, and just by drawing some practical trend lines and to see what's supporting right now on the bottom side. And on the bottom side, we see clearly that this right here is supporting it, right? Supporting it very nicely, actually. But how long will it support? And the 55 EMA, it has to support. Another question is, how long will that one support as well? So just stay tuned, guys. A few more days, we're going to get a very definitive direction. It's going to be a very decisive market, I think. But until then, we just got to give it time. If you guys notice, if I were to draw my trend line support right here, and I also took my previous high position of 11,065, what we simply get is a March 2nd, March 3rd date right here, right? See the date on the bottom, March 3rd, which is in about 48 hours. So until then, guys, just stay cautious, please. Try to minimize that risk by not having any risk. Sometimes inaction is the best thing to do, and just hang tight and wait to see if we're going to break above 11,065. If we don't, then we're definitely going to see our lower support range if we fall down. And we will see this range again where we bounce off of it, which was around the 11,150 range, 11,300 ranges as well. So make sure you guys acknowledge the support that could possibly break down. Or make sure you guys also acknowledge that if we break above 11,065, we will definitely get a nice bull run to the peak of this candle right here, which was 11,788. So as far as it stands, yeah, I'm definitely in a position from over here. Okay, I'm not going to even deny that for a moment. I entered a long position. I always take my own advice, guys. Like, I literally take my own advice always. We see this beautiful channel forming. And this channel right here is only for this specific region right there, right? So there's a lot of hurdles once again to get through. Other than that, I'll keep you guys updated sometime later throughout the day. I'm just going to catch a little bit of Z's right now. My dog is looking awesome. I want to, you know, have a just kind of chill for a little bit. Other than that, I'd appreciate an upvote on Steemit. I apologize if there's not much news right now. This was entirely expected. Everything is entirely expected right now. We're entering from this position over here with a perfect retracement and a really good bounce off of the 55 EMA. So I do expect it to hit up to about 11K right now. I don't know if it's going to break it. It might even make another attempt at this trendline support right now. But the fact is, guys, if you guys are thinking of entering a trade right now, you guys got to know your risk to reward ratio. And the risk to reward ratio sucks, guys. So it's all about timing, right? I mean, if you enter a trade right now, it's just suicide if you're targeting just the top over here with a swing low to where it was earlier at the, say, 10,210 range. That's just suicide. But if you guys are expecting a break upwards, that might be a better risk to reward ratio of about 1.83. Still not that acceptable to me, though. I just got to wait and see to see what happens so we can get a general direction of the market and where it's going. So other than that, guys, I'd appreciate an upvote on Steemit, like always. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share the material as well. I apologize if it wasn't the greatest update. There's just simply no news. But sometimes when you update, there will be no news as long as you guys are aware of where we all stand, etc. So have yourselves a great day, and thank you for watching this video. Bye now.